again, price is being betrayed by the drawdowns of the biggest exchanges in the world. And to me, I see nothing but it portraying for much higher gold price, much higher silver price. You can look at what, technical analysis, breaking through the moving averages, great cup and handle formation. All of these bullish technical indicators are great. Really what it boils down to is how it all plays out on COMEX, and does the manipulation end? I truly believe you can only successfully manipulate a market, and again, by pushing it in the direction that it is going. And when the biggest money in the world is going to great lengths to draw down from the biggest depositories of gold and silver in the world, you should understand what that's telling you. The biggest money is always a mile ahead of everybody else. They're closest to the information. They're closest to the money. It's just like the picture behind me of Roosevelt. All of the wealthy people, when gold was confiscated in 33, sent their gold by steamship off to the safe deposit boxes in Switzerland. And so they didn't lose their gold as the public did. The big money, it's just like all of the sovereign entities, the governments, massively buying gold and repatriating it in 2017 and 18 before the BIS reclassified gold. So the big money, if you look in retrospect, it's very easy to see. Oh, sure, they repatriated it from the Fed and the Bank of England. They went on a massive buying spree that following year in 2018, more gold purchased than in the 60 years previously combined. What are they doing right now? More gold purchased than any time since 1967. What's happening to the supplies on COMEX and LME? Lowest levels in a long time on COMEX, only roughly 300 million ounces total of silver on COMEX, of which the majority of it is in strong hands, not for sale. People like me, I'm not selling it. So 36 million ounces on COMEX backing the price setting mechanism, the lowest level of silver in the history of the of record keeping on the London Metals Exchange, 140-year-old exchange. Days where 45 million ounces, or excuse me, 26 million ounces, 45% of all the kilo gold bars are delivered off the exchange. Who likes the kilo bars? Oh yeah, that's right, the Chinese. So look, you have to understand the concept of misdirection, the concept that we've talked about ad nauseum. And the biggest money is using the misdirection in price and in rhetoric to reposition. And if you don't see that, if you're not seeing these drawdowns and wondering who the hell's doing it, and if gold and silver haven't performed the way that we've all grown accustomed into, cryptocurrency style gains and 3x, 4x in our equity accounts. So, silver up just a measly few percent and gold flat for the year doesn't do it for people. Of course, it was at all-time highs in 2022 in the euro and up 7, 8, 9, 10% and against the pound, because the dollar's stupid strength has muted in dollar terms what gold and silver have been doing. And look at it from a standpoint of the last time that the dollar was this high, silver was under $5. So it's held up remarkably well in the face of a dollar that is unjustifiably strong. So all I can simply say to you is this: you have to trust your gut. You have to strengthen your fingertips and your grip on your conviction. And you shouldn't be buying it to get rich, because then your expectations just piss you off when it doesn't happen the way you think. But take a step back and say the biggest money in the world is going to tremendous lengths to accumulate it. The lion's share of gold and silver that is not reported to the mainstream. They don't report it. No one knows about it. And that's why we wake up and it's a whole new reality. And everyone's caught with their pants down because no one except the pimple on the elephant, us, see it. And even us question, is that really happening? I'm telling you, you do not see drawdowns like this. When metal leaves the COMEX, it has lost all liquidity from an industrial perspective. So the big money who is using it as an investment to perhaps sell to the industrials would not pull it off if not for it to be a one-way ticket eastward. And when you see these drawdowns coupled with the admission that central banks, not this central bank, but central banks have bought more gold this year than at any time in my lifetime, going on 60 years, and 300 million ounces delivered to India of silver, 10 times what is backing the COMEX price setting mechanism. And if you took every ounce in the vault of COMEX, all the COMEX vaults, every ounce of which the majority is in strong hands and not for sale, that's how much India imported this year. Do you not see that? If you guys don't see that, you're missing the boat. And to me, it gives me all of the comfort, or comfort's the wrong word, confirmation that I'm right in my heart. Whether people want to take my opinion, look, I take all the facts and I come up with an opinion. And that is my opinion. The facts are the facts. The most amount of gold accumulated by the central banks in the last almost 55 years. That means something. And that should tell you where prices are ultimately going. And they won't get there until they do. But when they do, you will realize that all the dum-dums with weak hands have let go and are back in paper only to suffer the fate that the herd always does, and that is being led to slaughter when the very few brave people who take accountability for their own actions and stand out on a limb, the contrarians, they're the ones who won't be a victim. And Rick Rule always says that if you're not a contrarian, you'll be a victim. And I believe that statement has never, ever, ever rang more true than it does right now.
You've mentioned both now, recently, and in other discussions in the past about the accumulation of physical precious metals by Eastern countries, by Eastern central banks, etc. Question from Tracy Cameron. When China buys, say, 30 tons of gold in December, whom do they buy it from?
Where they're buying it from the Western exchanges. Where do you think all the gold is going that's leaving COMEX? A lot of the gold will find its way to the Swiss refineries. They're buying it from the Swiss refineries. They're buying it from COMEX. They're buying it from the LME. I don't know who he is in PAMP. I read it, I don't know, a few months ago, but maybe the president of PAMP Swiss. PAMP Swiss is like the biggest Swiss refinery, the most respected. He talked about record outflows all going to Asia. So they're buying it from Switzerland and the refineries. They're buying it from the COMEX. They're using maybe sovereign wealth funds to do it, or maybe the government's doing it themselves. But look, you know, Alistair McLeod, who you have on your show a lot, the numbers that they talk about, the 30 tons, that's hogwash. They're the largest accumulators, producers of it in the world. Alistair will tell you that they have closer to 38,000 metric tons, which would be 5 times what we supposedly have at Fort Knox, where he says the people hold close to 18,000. They are begging their people to accumulate it. It's on the back of buses. It's in every shopping mall is filled with gold shops. The people are buying it. The state is buying it. They're producing it. They're accumulating it. They're buying it everywhere they can. And the numbers that they give us are baloney. They have way more than we are led to believe. But where are they buying it from? Anywhere they can. The majority of it from COMEX, the LME, and the Swiss refineries, from what I understand.